Kamran Bohkari is standing by, the Director of Strategy at the University of Ottawa's Global Policy Centre. He's joining us today from Washington. He knows the region very well. So the Saudis not happy at all over this tweet by Global Affairs. Kamran, as you know, they say Canada is interfering in their internal affairs and our behavior is reprehensible. What do you make of the Saudi response?
I don't think they believe that. I don't think that they're really worried about what Canada tweets or issues a statement from Foreign Affairs or some other department. I think this is both an opportunity and a threat in a very complex way. It's an opportunity to engage in a low-cost move to push back against any Western pressure to enhance freedom of expression and enhance human rights and alleviate those concerns. Second, it's a threat because the Saudis see this as upsetting their apple cart when they're engaged in a very calibrated move towards reform. They don't want too much reform.
It's interesting, too, that Canada is just the latest country to get sort of sideswiped by this. The Saudis have gone after Germany in the past. They've gone after Sweden, and it's much the same playbook where they will condemn any sort of comment about internal affairs, often to do, Kamran, as you know, with human rights, because the Saudi regime doesn't have a great record when it comes to human rights.
Indeed. I mean, look, this is not the United States. I was tweeting yesterday that there have been so many instances of officials and other noted figures from the United States criticizing Saudi Arabia on human rights and other issues. But we don't see that kind of response, partly because the Saudis don't want to antagonize the United States. And more importantly, the United States has never seriously pressured the Saudis. And now with the Trump administration, there are very close relations between the White House and the palace of King Salman and his son, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
There's something else, too. You were talking about the American response. I just want to read our viewers what the State Department has said when it comes to this diplomatic showdown between Canada and Saudi Arabia. Quote, "We are aware of the government of Saudi Arabia's statement recalling the Saudi ambassador to Canada and expelling Canada's ambassador. Canada and Saudi Arabia are both close partners of the United States. I refer you to the Canadian and Saudi Ministries of Foreign Affairs for further information." So the Americans are not getting involved at all in this one.
No, and more importantly, the Saudis are fully exploiting the situation where relations between Washington and Ottawa are not good. In fact, I would go so far as to say that they are emboldened by the fact that the West is, disagreeing on many issues. There are internal issues. It's not just between Canada and the United States. The United States' European allies are angry at Washington for this administration's move to alter the trade relationship and put pressure in other forms. And of course, we also have the side issue of the Iran nuclear deal being nixed, which is making the Europeans unhappy. So this was a perfect moment for the Saudis to come in, pick up the ball that the Canadians threw at them and run with it.
Speaking of that, this has turned into such a mess. I'm just thinking about the personal impact on those 15,000 Saudi students who are supposed to start school in 3 weeks or so, and now they're being told to leave Canada. And also, there are a number of trade deals that are now going to be on hold. What do you think the strategy was on the part of the Canadian government to do this? Because some people watching Kamran might be saying, why did they even go there?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very reasonable question. If the United States is not seriously pressuring Saudi Arabia, then, we have far less clout. What was the point of doing that? I understand why it was done and how it was done. It's basically the Foreign Affairs checking another box as business as usual. I don't think they were, anticipating the kind of strong reaction that the Saudis gave in response.
What about that arms deal? Just before we go, I'm curious, because this is a $15 billion arms deal that has been controversial. Canada selling armored vehicles to the Saudis. Do you think that is now going to be scrapped? I mean, what will happen on that front?
It's too early to tell. I think that the Saudis are playing hardball here. In the end, they're looking at how we dealt with the UAE in the past when we had a spat with them under the Harper administration. And the Harper government, from the UAE point of view, came crawling back. So I bet that Abu Dhabi is telling Riyadh, look, don't worry, just keep at it, and they're gonna come back for a compromise. As for the arms deal, the Saudis are buying arms from everybody that they can. So what Canada is offering is not going to even register or compute on the Saudi radar.
Kamran Bohkari in Washington with the latest on this Canada-Saudi Arabia showdown. Great to have you back, Kamran, and your take. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd.